Hello, accounting business 600-day accounting and finance students. This is Professor Hassey. Today's date is Saturday, March 18th. And this is our third video this week. Ooh, I guess you guys are getting sick of me, where I'm introducing the final examination, which is now posted to Blackboard and due on Sunday, March 26th. You have basically two works remaining. You have the case paper, which is due tomorrow, Sunday, March 19th, but you can have an extension. It's all your remaining work. The case paper and the final examination is all due by Sunday, March 26th. Get all the work done by that time, no problems. As soon as you do post your case paper, I will grade that as soon as possible so you can see what your cumulative grade is going into your final examination, which represents a quarter of your course grade. So the final examination is now posted. If you go to the final examination file folder in Blackboard, there it is right there. There's two files, a PDF file and a Word doc file. You can do the examination on those work files if you'd like, or you can submit a separate file of your own. It's your choice, whatever you feel comfortable with. Those files are now available. And here's what the final examination looks like. As I indicated in an earlier video this week, it's made up of basically the last third of the course, and also a summary course or a course overview question. There are 5 questions on this final, each worth 20 points. The first question is to explain the difference between managerial accounting and financial accounting. By giving specific examples of each. And we talked about this in our last week, the difference between managerial accounting and financial accounting. Question number 2 involves managerial accounting and the cost of producing a product. Goliath Corporation is setting a selling price for a new product, which they estimate selling 60,000 units. So there's the variable costs, materials, labor, and overhead. There's the fixed overhead of $1.8 million. There's the variable selling and administrative expenses of $6 a unit. And there's the fixed selling and administrative expenses of $1,440,000. Goliath uses a cost plus pricing to set its target selling price. The markup on this price is 30%. Remember, the cost of producing a product is the 3 material costs involved with this product and the manufacturing overhead. So in other words, the materials are $30 a unit, labor is $40, manufacturing overhead is $10. So that's at $80 cost per unit is their variable cost rate. Their fixed manufacturing overhead is $1.8 million. So what they're going to be doing is they're going to be adding 30% to the variable cost rate. In other words, $80, add 30% to that, and that's what will be your selling price for this unit. So you're going to tell me what is the total variable cost per unit, the total fixed cost per unit, and the total cost per unit with these variety of costs. Don't forget to include the fixed cost in your calculations. And then what do you anticipate selling this product for? This is all discussed and reviewed, and you can look it up in chapters 14 and 18 in your textbook. Question number 2. Question number 3 is from chapter 24 of our textbook, and we'll be talking about this in our lecture video on Monday. Here's an example of a capital budget. Now, a capital budget is where you project out the return on an investment. Here, the investment is for an asset of $750,000 with a depreciable life of 5 years. And there's the return. Net present value, internal rate of return, profitability index, and payback. Those are the returns in dollars, percent, ratio, and years on this investment with the anticipated revenue and expenses involved with this investment. I would like your interpretation on this. Is this a viable investment for this company? Explain. And we'll talk about this in our class, our online lecture on Monday. Question number 4. is, again, going back to managerial accounting, where I'm give you the contribution margin ratio. We talked about that in our class this past week. Their fixed cost, and I would like you to determine the break-even point in sales dollars for this company. Now, the company produces two products. One, product D, is 40% of the revenues. Product F is 60% of the revenues, and their appropriate contribution margin ratios. So that adds a little bit different look at than what we discussed in our class this past week. So I want you to put on your thinking caps and see if you can tell me what is the break-even point in dollars for Unique Corporation. Surely a unique problem. Haha. And then finally, question 5 is just a quick little couple paragraphs or page on what are the benefits of budgeting. And I want you to break it down into 2 areas. Explain the strategic planning benefits of a budget, and also explain the internal control benefits to a budget. Budgets, as we will discuss in our review session on Monday, is also part of planning, long-term planning, and also a way of controlling or verifying actual numbers to a budget about internal control. Are we meeting our budgets? Are we meeting our planning numbers? Variance analysis is what that is called. So I want to know what you interpret the benefits from strategic planning and from internal control benefits of a budget. So that's our final examination. And then finally, the last page of the final examination, I give you our course link to do our course evaluations. And I'll talk more about that in my Monday video, but I would like you to fill out the evaluations for our course. It gives me great feedback. It's anonymous. It just helps the student give some input into our courses. And I would like you to do that once you get all finished and before I post all your grades on Thursday, March 30th. I would appreciate if you do that. Okay, so that's our final examination. It is due on the 26th. You have plenty of time to do any research or go back through your notes or go back through the textbook. And also, if you have any questions about the examination, please feel free to ask me during the course of this next week. I will not review any drafts of your work, but I will answer any questions you may have. So that's our final examination. Our next video will be on Monday, March 20th, where I review again, some managerial accounting and capital finance questions about our closing week of our class. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of days. Adios.